Hi and welcome to the Classy Gourmet. I'm Colleen Cleek and I'm going to show you how to fondue. The first thing that you need to know is you've got to have the right equipment. Let's go over that first. What you're going to need is a fondue pot. Now, I'm not a big fan of electric. I like to use the ceramic, but they do make them and they are easy. You just are limited to where you can fondue. You have to have electricity. So I like to go on the go. The small one is for 1 or 2 people, 4 to 5, and this is for a larger group. Each one of them has its pros and cons, but I want to talk about how do you keep them warm. The first thing is never put them in the microwave. They're going to stress out, they're going to crack, and they're going to chip. So no microwave. You can heat them in an oven on a very low warm temperature so that they're warm, and then I typically will create my fondue in a pot, get it hot, and then pour it into a warm pan. Be careful when you do though, because if it's too warm, if your fondue is too warm, it can crack. Each one of the fondue pots is heated with a different element. The smaller they are, they allow for 1 single candle. When they get a little bit larger, you can put 1 or 2 candles. And then as you get bigger, you're gonna need a sterno. A sterno can be purchased at a local store. They are full of fuel, and then once you get them set down in there, you light them. And then it has a top that can control the heat. The smaller that you open it, the smaller the heat, and then the larger the heat. If you're doing chocolate though, I would suggest taking and utilizing maybe 3 candles. It'll keep it at a lower temperature because chocolate tends to burn with the higher heat. Now that you've got the fondue pot, what about the ingredients? Today I'm going to make 2 kinds of fondue. I'm going to do one with white chocolate, Godiva chocolate, brandy, whipping cream, and mascarpone cheese. That one's going to be for the adults. And then I'm also going to do one for the kids. Very simple and basic. Kids love oranges and they love dark chocolate. So we're going to do a dark chocolate fondue for the kids. Okay, the ingredients are pretty simple, but when it comes to picking your chocolate, the higher the cocoa content, the lower the sugar and the butter. So the darker that the chocolate gets. The 90% cocoa, I've also got 85 and 70. We're going to use the 70 today. You can also look in your grocery store at in the bulk aisle, and you can find big chunks of melting chocolate. And I've got from the local organic shop both white and dark that we can use as well. These melt really quick and fast, so if you're not into fondue and you're just trying it for the first time, those will probably be your best bet. You can also use chips that you get from the grocery store. I picked up Toll House, 360, and a little bit of your is get a scale. I've got my scale, I want to zero it out. I want to put my bowl on there. Zeroing out just means I'm taking into consideration the weight of the bowl. Okay, now I have 4 ounces, I need ½ pound. So I'm going to add my chunks until I get another 4 ounces. All right. A few little extras might hurt, but I do want to try to make it exact. All right. Okay, so there we have our chocolate. We also need 1/4 cup of cream. We have that. And then 1/3 cup of mascarpone, and I'm going to make sure that I scoop that out. We're going to need just a little bit of brandy, so let's get that. Be careful not to tip that too hard. It just cracks all the stuff that's around it. When I tip it too hard and break it. Okay, we got a tablespoon of brandy. And then we're going to need another tablespoon of the Godiva chocolate. This is to give it a little bit more chocolate flavor. The white chocolate has a lot of cocoa butter in it, and I love that, but I also want to have a lot of impact with flavor for the things we're going to do. Okay, now that we've got all that together, mascarpone cheese, whipping cream, we also have our flavor profile ready. It's time for us to get the ingredients for the chocolate fondue. These to the side. The chocolate fondue is really easy. All we need is 4 ounces of 70% chocolate. I already know that. The bar measures exactly that. And then we're going to need the zest a little bit, probably about a tablespoon of this orange. I've already washed it. I want to make sure that I've cracked it. I call that to get the wax off, and then wash it again so that it's good. And then I'm going to take my microplane and I'm going to zest it. Be sure that we just get the top and not the pith. Just want the zest of the skin. If we get the pith, it's going to be really bitter. We don't want that. We just want the sweetness. All right, and then we're going to tap it out, and we're ready to go. You want to get a heavy-bottomed pan and turn the burner on medium-high. We're going to start with the cream and the liquid ingredients. We want to bring those up to temperature because they're kind of cold right now. And I'm using a whisk that's open so that anything that gets stuck inside, especially the chunks of chocolate, it's real easy to just flip it open and out they go. I'm going to make sure the consistency is good and the temperature is medium-high before we add our chocolate. Remember, if you're not into and you don't have a lot of time, if you're not into making it, all you have to do is buy the melting chocolate at good quality at the organic store and you're ready to go. I like creating my own, so I can add different flavors. Okay. Alright, I think we're just about ready. We're going to add in 4 ounces of chocolate that we have chucked. Now I'll break up the Ghirardelli white chocolate chunk, and we'll get that in there as well. This one, I like to break up before I open it. Just makes it a little bit easier and a lot less messy. Give it a few cracks. And then we'll unwrap it. Oh, better turn it down just a wee bit. Okay, there we go. Ooh, this looks so good. I can already smell the cocoa butter. Just want to make sure we don't scald. Yeah, the Godiva chocolate's going to turn this a little bit darker. Right now it's this beautiful, creamy, buttery white. That's going to change here in a minute. But I think that's a good thing. It is a white chocolate fondue, and people don't want to think they're dipping their food in butter. So let's go ahead and add the brandy. Oh, yum. And the Godiva chocolate. You want to get it just to combined. And then you want to reduce it on low heat until it's just, okay, let's get started on the dark chocolate.